Hi, say hi. Hi. Becoming your own parent actually doesn't really start with paying your own bills or, maybe like even preparing a dinner for yourself. I know when we say like become your own parent, it seems like that, but actually it's more than that. And today I wanted to talk with you guys about this topic because I think it's really important to talk about it. Because actually becoming your own parent is more than thinking about your dinner, cooking, and stuff like that. It's like thinking about your emotions more than before, trying to understand yourself. Anyways, we're going to enter more deep about this topic today. Before of everything, I want to talk about something that literally changed my mindset about this topic. So, we are talking about becoming your own parent, yes, but it's like if we become somebody else's parent, even if it's a little cat, we become more kind. We become, more like, understandable person. We just try to be more nice to that thing. It might be even like a little bird. But when it's ourselves, we're different. We don't look at ourselves like we're a human being. We don't look at ourselves like we are someone. But when we look at the world, we look at everywhere like it's someone, which is, I think, the like most important part that is like so much hurtful, because you should understand yourself mostly. Like it should be you who is like your own best friend, you understand? But when it comes to you and yourself, you're not like that way, which is the first part that we have to change in ourselves. And I'm not saying these because I can do it 100% or like I'm so good at it, but I'm saying these because I recognize them and I'm working on them, I'm trying to change and I'm trying to be more kind to myself. And I want to tell you that it's the same thing for you too. Like it's so important for you to talk to yourself. How you talk to yourself, how you look at yourself, those things are so important, like more important than you do think. So if you really want to become your own parent, like perfect parent to yourself, you should start carrying yourself like you are somebody's kid, like you are also a kid. I think this is very important. Okay, so sometimes we are so, aggressive and like that, but it's not only to people, it's also to ourselves. When I see someone so angry, I also think about a side where it's like, yes, he or she looks so angry from outside, but you won't even imagine how actually he or she hurts himself like inside. That's like more hurtful side. Put in your mind that you are not your victim. I know it's so easy to say like this way, but it's so important. Sometimes we really forget who we are. We really forget like how we really act to ourselves, how we really look at ourselves, but we are not our own victim, and that is so important. Guys, every a word that you think about yourself, even from your mind, that is so important for your mood, for your like health, for everything. Like even if you guys go and see people who have like health problems, I feel like they all had those health problems because they didn't really make themselves so much comfortable with their own words. I know like there might be because of other reasons too, but if you guys go and see some people, most of them are because of these kind of stuff. If you don't love yourself enough, you might get sick, like you might get physical sick, not only mentally ill. And this shows that it's so important for you to become your own friend. This shows that it's so important for you to talk to yourself nicely, gently, like how you talk to people. We feel like we're not going to be alone in our lives because now we're surrounded with so many people maybe, but actually you're going to be always alone. And trust me, you will always like have only yourself. Always only yourself. That's why you should remember that you are not your own victim. Actually, you're your own friend, and you are literally like your own friend this whole life, until you die. And this is so important. This is so important because now you might be sad because like you don't have any friends from your childhood, or you don't have any friend from like long lasting friend, but that's not like that way. You are your own friend and you will always stay with yourself until you die. And I want you to be a nice friend, a good friend to yourself. that's why I know all of these kind of things, and I try to also, change some stuff in myself. And the like thing that I love doing is spending time alone and actually getting to know myself better and better each day, because it's so important to actually spend some time alone. I have seen so many of my friends not getting outside because they're alone, because they don't have anyone to go out. But actually, life doesn't go like this way. If you are alone, if you don't have anybody to go to somewhere with, you just go by yourself. And you're not alone. You have your own self, and that is so important. Because look, guys, you think like you are actually like getting bored doing something alone, but you cannot be like, like that way. Life doesn't go like that way, because you will always stay with your own self. And trust me, by time you will love your alone time when you get used to it. Because when we do something for the first time, and the thing that is not like we got used to it, so it's not really easy for you to, be happy with it, because you're not really used to it. But when you get used to it, it's going to be so much better and you will love it. The thing that I have been doing for like so long is I try to talk to myself differently. I try to talk to myself, more kind than before. For example, when I'm aggressive or like angry about anything little, I just, let myself be angry alone in my room, in my area, to not break anybody's heart, but also at the same time to not break my own heart. So I let for myself a place, and as I start asking my own self, like, why and how did I just become like this way? Like, why am I like angry about, these questions actually heal you inside. And I'm not saying these because I heard from somewhere or I read from those books that I read, but actually because I do it to myself and I see positive, outcomes. So I think it's really important for you to ask yourself how you are doing, how you are, feeling and stuff like that. I'm also sure like some people will see this thing crazy because you're like talking to no one. It's like you are talking to no one, but you're talking to your own self. I saw my grandpa like last time saying hi to house when he enters, and when I like saw him like that way, like he told me like whenever I go to somewhere, even if that place is empty, I just say hi. And he told me like the importance of it in a story, but I cannot really explain it, it's so long. But when I heard that thing, I said like, wow, yeah, like, do you understand? These kind of stuff are not actually crazy. There are stuff that are normal. I feel like it's the same thing in therapies. Like, our therapists try to show us a way that is actually, a way that is trying to recognize who we are, why we do this, why we felt like that way. So when you actually recognize this thing, it looks more meaningful. When you are sad or when you are anxious, don't try to get over like your feelings. Don't think those feelings are bad. Like, if God gave you all of these feelings, all of these emotions, like being angry, being sad, being happy, why like you just try to get over them? Just try to live every emotion. If you are angry right now, go in a room and just, be angry, okay? Be angry to whatever you're angry until like you get happy. If you want to be happy, go be happy. If you want to feel anxious, go feel anxious. But stop thinking that those like some emotions are bad there or dangerous, because they are not. If you cannot be anxious, you cannot be happy too. Because, I've never seen someone being happy all the time, because we are human beings and we need to live all of these emotions so that we can actually stay alive. From now on, I want you to think twice to, before you act to yourself, before you talk to yourself, because it's really so important to be kind to yourself more than being kind to other people, because actually kindness starts like from your own self. First, you need to learn how to be kind to yourself, then you're going to learn how to be kind to others and how to be nice to even animals. And lastly, I want you to ask yourself this question: if you were carrying somebody's like kid or someone else, would you really like care them like this way, or would you like care them more kind, more nice? So ask yourself these kind of questions so that you can actually recognize some stuff much more better.